Okay guys, welcome back to Raw Doing Stuff. Today we've got a brisket here that we're going to smoke. I'm going to try something a little different with this one. I'm going to let it rest in a cooler for probably 6 to 7 hours if I can keep the temp up to around 140 in the meat during that time. I'm going to season it with some salt and pepper and just cook a good brisket. So stick around, we'll get this thing trimmed up and I'll show you how it turns out. If you'd like to know how to trim a brisket, I'll put a link to that video in the description of the video.
Alright guys, so we got it all trimmed up. The butcher kind of did a number back here and took too much fat off right through here. But that's okay, we'll make it work. So we're going to just season this with some salt and pepper, pretty heavy. It's a 16 mesh pepper and kosher salt, 50-50. The way I like my briskets. And the one thing we're going to do on this one that we've done different from our other brisket is we're going to put the beef tallow in it. But I've read and heard that Aaron Franklin on his briskets rests them for a really long time, like 11 to 16 hours. We can't do that because we don't have the warmers like what he has. But we're going to put it in a cooler and get 7 to 8 hours out of it. See if that makes a difference on how this brisket tastes. I'm just going to season her up like so.
Let's go.
Okay, and that's all there is to it. We're going to get it put on the smoker. Alright guys, so we got it seasoned up. We're going to get it on the smoker. We got the smoker set to 225. We're putting this on the night before we're ready to eat. And we're going to eat tomorrow around 1 or 2 o'clock. So that's going to give us time to cook this and give it the good rest that we want to give it. We'll see if that makes a difference. We want to put it this way so that putting the fat down towards the heat. We're putting our point towards the heat, and we're just going to stick our heat probe in the thickest part of the flat. We're going to let it go till it gets a good bark, or to about 160, 170. Then we'll wrap it up in some butcher paper with some beef tallow.
Alright guys, so I don't know what happened to the audio here, but the brisket hit an internal of 165. So we decided to pull it off and wrap it because the bark looked good, and when the bark looks good and it reaches an internal temp of about 165, 170, that's when I wrap it up. So I'm going to get it over to the table and wrap it up. So I'm going to put about a half a cup of beef tallow in here in the paper. I'm going to wrap it up with that. I found that helps to keep it moist, and I really like the flavor that it gives it.
Hey guys, so we got it all wrapped up. I'm back on the pit. We're going to put our probe back in. We're just going to let this roll until it gets to about 200, 205. We'll start probing at about 195. and as soon as it gets tender, then we'll get it put in a warm cooler and get it off there. Alright guys, so our brisket is at 200 degrees, probe's tender, so we're going to get it off here and put it in the cooler and let it rest. See, our probe just slides in and out like butter, plus it'll carry over just a few degrees when we put it in the cooler. Got a nice jiggle, a little bit of juice coming out. We're going to get it put in the cooler. Okay guys, so what I've got a wet towel in the bottom of this cooler, add a little bit of moisture. I also preheated the cooler, so I put warm water in here. I let it sit for about an hour, so the cooler's warm. I'm going to put this towel in, and we'll hurry and get this brisket in here before this starts to cool off. We're just going to wrap the towel around it, close it up. So it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. So this is going to give us about a 7 or 8 hour rest before this thing is ready to come out. And that's the big thing I wanted to try in this video, is to see if a longer rest makes a big difference. Because I believe that Aaron Franklin, I don't think he puts beef tallow.
Alright guys, so don't know what happened to the audio here,
but I do think he does.
The brisket hit an internal of 165
for a while.
So we decided to pull it off and wrap it because
I know he lets them rest for
bark looked good,
some people say 8 to 16 hours.
When the bark looks good and it reaches an internal temp of about 165, 170,
and I think what happens
that's
is
when I
he puts
wrap
it in
it
a
up.
warming cabinet.
So I'm going to get it over to the table and wrap it up.
And I think the fat and stuff from those briskets strips down onto the other ones, and that helps to keep them moist. And so I think the beef tallow kind of simulates that.
So I'm going to put about a half cup of beef tallow in here.
Anyway, we're going to give it a good rest and see if that makes a difference.
I found that helps
we'll
to
be
keep
back
it
when
moist.
we try it and let you know.
And
alright guys, so here we are,
it gives it.
10 hours later with our brisket. It's been resting for 10 hours. I have not opened this cooler, I haven't touched it since I put it in there. So we're going to open this up and see what we've got. So I had a moist towel in the bottom, then I put a towel around it. I did not change the wrap on the paper. Last time I done the beef tallow, I changed the wrap on the paper, and then I let it rest. So I just left it in there this time. Kind of curious to see what the temperature is on this after it sitting in there for that long. Let's see what we got here. Get through that paper. We are at 145 still. So 10 hours in the cooler, still at 145 degrees. Let's unwrap this thing, see what we've got. Oh yeah, juice is everywhere. Just dripping, guys. Let's take a look at this. Give you a little close-up what we're dealing with here. Okay. Get this thing sliced up. Look at that jiggle. Alright, let's take a look here. You can see that's got some moisture in it. It's got a nice smoke ring on it there. Pulls apart easy. Oh yeah. Good brisket. Give this to the cameraman. It's really good brisket. I'd eat that again. Yeah, good stuff, guys. Let's take a look here. What we got down here on the point. The old fat side. Oh yeah, look at that. Some juices there. You can see it running out. Looks good. Let's cut a piece of that off. Give it a try. Oh yeah. Good stuff.
Cameron, get to piece him. You don't get any, cat.
Gotta feed the cameraman. Alright guys, it's a good method, and I'd recommend letting it rest. The rest and the beef tallow, I think, is a key. So if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up and a like, and we'll see you on the next one.